Good morning. Today we are going to continue on with those proportions that we started yesterday with CO34. Today with CO35, we are doing partitive proportions in real context. So a partitive proportion, which is not a word that I use in my everyday life. It is a new word for me, but don't be scared by it. The partitive proportion means you are dividing a whole into proportional parts using ratios. So we know ratios, okay? There's this to this. There's 2 girls for 3 boys. 5 apples to 7 oranges, right? That's our ratio. How many apples and oranges do we have all together? If it was 5 apples to 7 oranges, how much fruit do I have? 12. So my whole is the 12 fruits, and I divided it up into 5 apples and 7 oranges. So we're taking the whole amount and we're dividing it into our proportions, dividing it into the parts. It is partitive because we're dividing it into those proportional parts. Okay, so we just took the confusing word of partitive, said, oh, the key word is here is parts. So we're taking the whole, the total amount altogether, and we're dividing it into those parts of the ratio. So partitive proportions are very similar to ratios, and your thought process should involve dividing the total into parts. I'll do one for you. Divide 300 into groups with a ratio of 2 to 3. So what is our whole here? If it's 2 to 3, how many is that? 5. So I'm dividing 300 into groups of 5. So 300 into 5 parts. So there's an n amount for each part. So we're tying in our variables. So 2n plus 3n. We know 2 plus 3 equals 5, but 2n plus 3n equals 300. 2n plus 3n is 5n equals 300. Because we're going to combine our like terms. They both have an n, so we can combine those. So if we know that it's 5n equals 300, how do I get n by itself? Evan? Yeah, I'm going to divide both sides by my 5. So I get n by itself. 300 divided by 5 gives me that 60. So I know that n equals 60. So remember we started off with 2n plus 3n equals 300. Now I know what n is. N is 60. So can I figure out how many go on this side? Yeah, I'm going to multiply it by 60. So 2 times 60 is 120. 3 times 60, I'm going to put that 60 in for my n, is 180. Does 120 plus 180 equal 300? Yes. Yeah. Okay, so it seems like it's going to be complicated, but if we break it down and do those one step at a time, we know how to do each of these steps, we can find our answer. So let's do a little bit together to make sure we understand the steps that we're doing. So our first one says divide 64 into 2 groups with a ratio of 1 to 3. What is that going to look like? So think about what we did up here. How am I going to do that down here? Chance.
So wouldn't you have, you would write it out as like 1n and then plus 3n?
Yeah,
Right?
because it's 1 to 3. So 1n plus 3n equals what?
Which would equal 64.
64. Very good.
You would add the 1 and 3, which would be 4, and divide 64.
So we have 4n equals 64. And we're going to divide by 4 because we want n by itself. So 64 divided by 4, 16. Okay. So now we can go back and plug n in for n. So 1 times 16 plus 3 times 16 equals 64. What's 1 times 16?
68.
What's 3 times 16?
48.
And does 16 plus 48 actually equal 64? It does. Not a maybe. It does. So this is what we are doing. When we say divide it into two groups, one group of 16 and one group of 48, that is our answer. So let's do the next one. Dividing 600 into two groups with a ratio of 11 to 13. So what is my equation that I'm going to write, Audrey? If I know this is my ratio, what did I do over here?
11n plus 2n equals 600.
11n plus 13n equals 600. So now I'm going to combine. I'm going to add together my like terms. They're both n, so I can add them together. 11n plus 13n gives me 24n. And that equals 600. What do I need to do next?
You divide 600 by 14.
Yeah, I'm going to divide both sides by 24. So I get n by itself. 600 divided by 24 is 25. So now I'm going to plug that 25 in for my n. So 11 times 25 is 275. 13 times 25 is 325. If I add them together, I get 600. How are we feeling about that?
Good.
Okay, so you're going to follow that same pattern with each of these. Look down at our very last one. Divide 150 into 3 groups. Is that scary and new? No, it's the same thing. So we would have 11n plus 5n plus 14n equals 150. Then we're doing that same step of combining them all together. 11 plus 5 plus 14 gives me what? 30. And now we're down to the exact same steps that we had when it was only two numbers. So putting in more numbers in our ratio doesn't change what we're doing. Okay. It's just another number that we have to add together, and then we're back on the same track. I do want us to flip to the next page. I know we're in the middle working on these. We're going to pause on this first page, and let's look at our second page. Oh, beautiful word problems. Oh, we love word problems. They're not scary. They just get complicated, don't they? So let's look at this first word problem and see what we're going to do. A man raised $81,000 for his son's middle school and high school. Holy Hannah. That'd be nice if he was raising that kind of money for us here. For every $5 he gave the middle school, he gave $4 to the high school. how much did he give to each school? So we're working with ratios. How do I put that into a ratio? Aiden?
5 to 4.
5 to 4. And it's $81,000. It's the exact same math we were doing on the front side. So now we have we have 5n plus 4n equals $81,000. Combine them together. 9n equals $81,000. Get the n by itself, dividing by 9, and we get n equals $9,000. So then we're going to plug that in for our n. So 5 times 9,000 is 45,000. 4 times 9,000 is 36,000. Add them together and you get $81,000. So then it says, how much did he give to each school? Which school was $45,000? Chance?
Are we allowed to use calculators?
Oh, definitely. Alexis. The middle school was first, and so middle school and the high school was second. So make sure that you label so you know which one is which. So as we're working through these word problems, you're going to want to look at that ratio, and it's the same math. So set up your equations the same way. Yeah, and we know the 3 ratios, it's not different, okay? We do the same math. For my friends at home, we hope you are well, and we hope to see you soon.